Evening and welcome again. Tonight begins with the state of national security, over which the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has accused the presidency of twisting facts and misrepresenting its position in the alleged killings of Christians across the country. Now, it insists that what is happening in several parts of northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt amounts to a Christian genocide. In a statement issued by its president, Archbishop Daniel Okoh, CAN clarified that it did not at any point dismiss or describe the widespread killings as a so-called Christian genocide, as claimed by the presidential advisor. While United States Senator Ted Cruz had described the persistent killings of Christians in Nigeria as a Christian genocide, CAN expressed alarm over the presidency's subsequent denial. Now, Sam Amadi is a policy strategist as well as law and governance expert. He joins me alongside Pastor Julius Arabo, Plateau State Chapter Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, to discuss the genocide claim by the Christian Association of Nigeria. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Now, we are going to be starting with clergy. Well, I'm being told that we have to start with Mr. Sam Amadi. Mr. Sam, if you're there, good evening once again. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's first of all start by defining what genocide actually is and whether the claims that the Christian Association of Nigeria have put forward fits that term genocide.
Well, thank you for having me. I think I didn't get the earlier part of the comment, but I heard the latter part. I think, look, genocide has a definition, but it also has been expanded. Basically, a targeted killing of people, mass killing of people because of either their religious or ethnic identity. And the problem is that there's some facts that are confusing. First, those who seem to say there's no genocide consider the fact that, of course, there are churches, there are Christians in government, and the question is, like the presidency says, the president is married to a Christian, and therefore you can't talk about a planned, state-backed effort to kill all Christians. But that's not just what genocide is all about. They attempt to ethnically cleanse people, or religiously cleanse them, take their land, basically mass violence. So I would argue that even if we disagree with whether what's happened to northern Christians amounts to genocide in a typical definition, there's no argument, in my own view, that Christians in northern part of Nigeria suffer what I call state-backed, state-sanctioned, and state-enabled mass violence at a scale. Again, if you consider that since 2000, we now have this constitutional audit of states in Nigeria declaring themselves to be Islamic republics by virtue of enacting Sharia criminal law. Since 1957, the leadership it said, no, we're going to only have private Sharia, not public. 1959, we retained the same notion. 1979, the same notion. 1999 constitution, the same idea of allowing only Sharia Islamic law for private issues. By 2000, Zamfara and then the 12 northern states have now enacted criminal Sharia, which has led to cases like blasphemy, where people are killed, stoned to death, and the law does nothing. So if you look at instances where there have been mass violence, killings of Christians, churches destroyed, stoning to death of persons who are Christians for alleged blasphemy, and the Nigerian state never punishes, never prosecutes any of these egregious religious violation of human rights, then it doesn't matter whether they're Christians in power or not. The argument holds that maybe something close to a genocide is happening.
Well, Mr. Amadi,
state-enabled, state-sanctioned, or state-concealed mass violence against Christians.
Okay, then, Mr. Amadi, the Christian Association of Nigeria they've refuted these claims, and they've consistently said that there are targeted forms of these attacks. But the Nigerian government has said that they've called this baseless. They actually even said it's false, it's ignorance, and it's baseless. Well, I'm wondering what the risks of dismissing these claims might be for Nigeria if the government continues to dismiss them. As we know, the term genocide carries global impact here. So what are the implications if they continue to dismiss these claims?
I think the most important implication is that the Nigerian government will refuse to take the right action. So now they have sent lobbyists, we've seen efforts to get some powerful influencers speak and say all is well. In fact, that's the context in which they kind of lied about Khan's position. Look, I think that the U.S. Placing Nigeria as a country of concern is merited. Nigeria was on that list until under Biden, there was some kind of lobbying with the APC, the government, and some democratic operatives in Washington, and got Nigeria out of that list. But if you look at my PhD actually was on this, and I understand my former supervisor, David Little, was the director, was the chair of that commission. The idea of that commission, what all the reports about violations of Christians, destruction of their churches in northern Nigeria, stoned to death for alleged blasphemy, all these acts amount to fulfilling the condition for Nigeria to be designated. So even though I'm in Nigeria, if I was in Washington, looking at these facts and Nigeria's deliberate effort not to intervene, not to protect northern Christians, I would put Nigeria on that list. So truly, Nigeria merits to be on that list. Again, if we continue to do nothing and play the politics of denial, then you compound this crisis, and ultimately we might be put in a difficult position internationally. Open Doors, one of the leading freedom of religion NGOs in the world, rates Nigeria as the country where Christians are most oppressed by indicators. So I think that what we should be doing right now, instead of denying and looking for how to bring in foreigners to come and fiasco of PR, is to National Assembly. I heard that a team has gone to Washington from legislators to go and say the same thing. Why don't you sit down and say, implemented to stop these killings? What have you done about people who have stoned others to death for fair speech? Why have you not prosecuted them? Why can't the president, for example, appoint a special counsel with wide-ranging powers, not tied to bureaucracy, to go after violators of freedom of religion and those who use religion to violate the fundamental rights of other people and prosecute them? We have a crisis of this nature in other parts of the world. You appoint a special counsel, answer to with a special mandate. Why can't National Assembly, for example, set up a National Commission on Religious Freedom, whose mandate will be to deal with this impunity? Think about Gideon Akaloka. Think about several persons who have been killed. And most of these killings are connected to high places in Nigeria in government.
Mr. Amadi.
Investigated, nobody tried. Prosecuted.
Mr. Amadi, I do have Mr. Amadi, I do have Pastor Julius Arabo, but I wanted to find out from you first, so before I let you go, and real quick, in your experience, this continuous dismissal, what does it cause for Nigeria's reputation outside the country, and what does it cause for its reputation within the country when it comes to institutional trust?
First, it leads to loss of public trust among northern Christians. I mean, look, when people are saying we are under genocide, whether it's true or false, it suggests clearly that they have no trust in the formal institutions of the state. The work of government is to reassure them, to deal with, look, go to them, listen to them. What are the issues that, even if there's no genocide, what are they crying about? Solve that problem internationally. It exposes Nigeria to possible legal action, ICC, ICJ, and of course America could place Nigeria on that list, and maybe they will.
Mr. Sam Amadi, thank you very much, but I would like to turn now to Pastor Julius Arabo, who's joining us right now. Pastor, thank you very much for joining us. What's the Christian Association of Nigeria's stance on the alleged genocide? How does it plan to advocate for the rights and protection of Christian communities in Nigeria? I think we have lost the pastor there. The connection has been severed. But Mr. Amadi, let me come back to you. Let's talk about the claims here. Now, when you say genocide, a couple of things are raised. First off, you need evidence. You need to prove a pattern. You need to show intent. Would you say that this falls in with everything that the Christian Association of Nigeria have pointed out, especially in the Middle Belt, where we have had these cases repeatedly this year?
I think, technically speaking, you might not prove all the incidents of genocide in this case, in terms of the Nigerian government having intent to destroy northern Christians. I would say no. But I would argue there's a pattern of what I use the word, mark my word, mass violence, a pattern of some group of Nigerians in authority using their power to oppress, violate, and kill northern Christians. I think there's a pattern. Two, I think there's a pattern of state complicity in not taking action. So, in a sense, don't forget that genocide is not just about people who kill, people who enable state authorities who fail to take action to stop mass violence themselves are also, indictable for genocide. Look at the case in Rwanda and most of the cases for the ICC. Some persons look at even Israel and Gaza. The allegation against the government of Israel over genocide is not that they are coming to kill everybody, but the scale of the war they are fighting suggests some people that this is deliberate ethnic cleansing, that they're going to kill all Gazans. But as long as there is a massive, pattern and intent to either reduce these people, kill as many as possible, dislodge them from their land of possession, that is genocidal. And so I think that, yes, all the incidents may not occur, but there is enough evidence of repeated pattern of this violence by particular persons targeted at the Christians because of their being Christians. There's also pattern of government refusing to take action, even in the most blatant words, like the killing of student of Dorothy, the lady in Sokoto secondary school. The people who did it did videos, claimed ownership and responsibility. So why did the Sokoto state government fail to prosecute them? And when they were taken to court, there were senior advocates. In fact, people on social media, some aides of government of Buhari then, all came out and said, we support the stoning of this young lady for alleged blasphemy. So, as I'm concerned, and that's what Senator Cruz is saying. The bill he brought is a bill that says, as long as Nigeria allows blasphemy conviction in Islam, it has, violated the fundamental rights of Christians in Nigeria.
All right. Dr. Amadi, you want to say thank you?
Because no secular state should.
All right, Dr. Amadi, I want to say thank you very much for joining us with your expert view on the matter. Thank you very much.